Hello, welcome to my YouTube. So this is my first video. I'm really awkward. I've never really recorded a video, and this is actually inspired by Claire. She was talking about how Eugenia Cooney affected her eating disorder. Okay. So, flashback to whenever I was 8 years old. That's whenever my eating disorder thoughts really started contributing to my everyday life. I would go to school and I would have a lunch, but I would not eat it. I would throw it away, I would hide it in my desk. If y'all ever want a story time about when I hid my food in my desk, I have a very, very funny one, but it's like kind of triggering, but it's funny now that I look back at it. But anyway, so I struggled with it for a really long time, and I eventually kind of got better on my own. But then I watched, I want to say I was probably about 12 or 13, and I watched one of Eugenia Cooney's videos on YouTube, and I just remember thinking, wow, that girl is so beautiful. She's so pretty. Like, I wanted to be like her. I wanted to be skinny. I wanted to be as thin as her. But sorry, I'm nervous. But anyway, I wanted to be as skinny or as thin as her, and I wanted to see my bones a lot like her. This story kind of relates with Claire's, and if you haven't watched Claire's video, I'm gonna link it below. Okay, so I have a journal where I wrote I just kind of wrote like when it all started and stuff. Okay, so Eugenia, on that topic. Okay, so I remember the first video I watched of her. It was the video where she was twerking ratchetly. I don't know why that was the first video I watched. I think it was because I think it was being made fun of or something, and I wanted to see it for myself. So, of course, being 12, 13, I looked it up, and I actually felt the opposite of what everyone else was feeling. I actually felt very triggered. Honestly, I didn't know what a trigger was, but I was very triggered. I would sit there, watch her videos. I would want to be as thin as her. She was just beautiful. She was one of my idols at a very young age. So before I had started watching her videos, I was in the depths of self-harming, and I would cut myself and cut my thighs, like my wrist, all that. But I eventually stopped before I found her videos because, I didn't see a point in it. But then, as I continued to watch her videos, I started to do it again. I relapsed with it, and I know it sounds selfish, but it's really not. I literally just wanted to look just like her, and I thought I would never, so I started self-harming again because, like I said, I wanted to look like her. And no, I'm not fully blaming my eating disorder on Eugenia, but she played a big part in it. Just reading the comments on her videos, a lot of them were triggering as well, because they were like, oh, she's so pretty, she's so beautiful, you know, like some of them were. And then, you know, you had the hateful ones, which, you know, that was kind of stupid, because if you don't need to be hateful to someone that's actually going through what she's going through. But yeah, I eventually developed really, really bad thoughts, eating disorder thoughts, like worse than whenever I was 8. And I just remember being in class one day, and I would sit there and watch her videos in class, and it was always right before lunch, because it would kind of motivate me not to eat my lunch, I guess. So I remember, like, at first my mom was packing my lunches, and they all had, like, you know, like triangle foods, like, you know, all the good foods, because my mom was on my side trying to get me all healthy. But I just remember one day I told my mom that I was gonna pack my lunch. And my mom eventually, like, gained her trust for me back again, and I would literally pack just almonds and a water, and that would be it, and it would get me through the day. But I was eating so little anyway that it was normal. I would only eat like one meal a day or nothing at all. And I remember, it was horrible. Sorry, this is really hard to talk about. But, see, right now I'm 22. I stopped doing that at the age of 17 because I realized, like, I have a life to live, you know? But I did get pretty sick. Like, you could see all my bones more than you can now. Like, it was horrible. Like, I literally looked just like Eugenia. I was like a skeleton. Like, not the place I wanted to be in. But I eventually met one of my friends. Her name was, I don't really want to say her name because this is probably going to be shown to a bunch of people. But one of my friends, like my best friend ever, literally, she saved me. And I just remember, like, literally, that girl saved me. I would sit there, or we would go out to eat more. I would eat more, you know. But then, I want to say it was probably a year or two ago, that I started watching Eugenia's videos again. But it was because me and my friend had a bad falling out, and she didn't talk to me for months. It was the worst trigger for me, to be honest. But it was also my fault because I isolated myself from her. Isolated myself from everyone, basically. But I just remember watching her videos again, like a year or two ago. And again, all the thoughts, all the thoughts just kept racing back. And I was like, oh my God, I let myself go so far, like where I was. Like, I let myself get fat, overweight, you know. I wasn't even overweight, but it was the voice in my head that was literally screaming that stuff at me. And so I went back and relied on her videos, and actually was really bad. About 2 months ago, I was severe. You actually had to go to the doctor, and that's whenever they finally diagnosed me with anorexia. I don't purge, but I have binge disorder, which is where I like eat a bunch one day, like out of the week, and that's it. And then I got diagnosed with BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. And so she set me up with a psychiatrist. So I tried to go to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist said she couldn't do anything for me until I went and got help at a treatment center. So this is actually where this journal is from. It's called Alsana. I'll do a story time on this place too, because oh my god, they really triggered me. Okay, so I went over there, tried to get help. This was like 2 weeks ago. Like, I'm like not even playing. This was like 2 weeks ago. So I went in there and I tried to get help. And so I went in there ready, determined, so hopeful. And then they said I was too sick to be there. They said they couldn't do anything for me, so they sent me to an inpatient treatment. I was on a tube for 4 days. 4 days. I should have been in there for like 2 weeks to a month, but literally they said I was not sick enough to be in there for that long. And now I'm on my own, fully on my own. But yeah, I'm struggling. I really am. I never have had the help. I can't get help right now. They all think I'm too sick to get help, or that I'm not sick enough to get help. So it's really just like you know them weights. It's like literally even with helpless, or literally even with not sick enough and too sick. So think about how I'm feeling right now. Like, I mean, a lot of days are easier, or most days are harder than others. Like, today is really hard for me. I will be honest, I only eat a little bit, and I'm not trying to trigger anyone, but I'm just trying to show how Eugenia affected me. She got me to where I am today. And I'm not trying to blame it on her or anything, but that is how I feel in this very moment. Because it made me realize, like, hey, oh my god, like, that girl really did do a lot of damage to me. She probably did a lot of damage to other people, and I want people to realize that if they have their story, they can share it. I want to get people to let Eugenia realize what kind of effect she has on people. So yeah, I'm sorry if that was kind of awkward. That was my first video. So I would love feedback, or if y'all ever want me to post more videos, recommendations, like what do y'all want to see, just let me know. Because I would love to help people. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to relate with people, because trust me, if you need anybody to relate with you on an eating disorder, I'm your girl. So yeah, thanks for watching.